Kindly subscribe to our YouTube channel, see how to. Click on the subscribe button below and also click on the bell beside this. This will notify you once we drop a new video. Thank you.
A legendary custodian of Yoruba culture and tradition.
He has what we call wisdom, the type given to King Solomon or Suleiman.
Wise, deep, and philosophical. The history of the old Oyo Empire is an example of the legacy of outstanding organizational skills, robust style of governance, rich culture and tradition, military virtue and trait that the forefathers of the Yoruba people bequeathed to them. Remarkably, Oronyo, the first king of Oyo, inherited the part of his father's land where the ancient building that was used as a palace was situated. Consequently, he was given the title, the Alaafin, meaning the owner of the palace.
Oronyo inherited their father's palace and the land.
Nínú gbogbo ọba tí ń ní oyè ní ilẹ̀ Yorùbá, kò sí èdè oyè jẹ́ ẹni tó ní ààfin tí òde Ọ̀yọ́ nìkan ó là pè ní Aláàfin.
Taking an exploratory journey through history, Oyo has had about 40 kings who are referred to as Obas in Yoruba language before Alaafin Adeniran Adeyemi II, the father of the current Alaafin of Oyo, was enthroned. Before this time, precisely on October 15, 1938, God blessed Oba Adeniran Adeyemi II and his wife Olori Bironke Akonke with a baby boy, and was named Lamidi Atonda Olaiwola Adeyemi.
I was born before my father became the Alaafin on 15th of October 1938. I can recall it vividly that I was sent at a very early age to a kindergarten school at Idiope. They call it Olodile.
Alaafin Adeniran Adeyemi II was a devoted Muslim, but his love for Western education and readiness to pay any price for his young son to access quality education suggested that he probably had a divine instinct concerning Prince Lamidi Olaiwola's destiny. For instance, at a time when nursery education was uncommon, Oba Adeniran used his position to devise a kindergarten education at St. Andrew's Demonstration School for his son before he later sent him to a Quranic school at Iseyin.
Although my father was not literate in the Western education, but he happened to be very close to the colonial officers who came to Oyo, and he himself was a lover of education, and he wanted to make his sibling to let them get sound education. After having completed Standard 3 in the primary school, I was withdrawn and sent to Iseyin to study the Quran. I mastered the Quran at the age of 7 or 8.
After Prince Lamidi had finished his Quranic education at Iseyin, his father, Oba Adeniran Adeyemi II, brought him back to Oyo, but surprisingly not to the loving and waiting hands of his mom in the palace. Instead, he sent him once again to go and stay with the headmaster of St. Andrew's Demonstration School, now St. Andrew's College, Oyo. This was done not for the acquisition of elementary education alone, but for the young prince to experience an efficient home training which perhaps could be considered unbecoming of a royal prince. In other words, the young Lamidi Adeyemi, though, as it were, was born with a silver spoon, his father never allowed him to use the silver spoon because he rated virtues like perseverance, humility, tolerance, and other qualities so high and indispensable for anyone who will occupy the exalted position of the Alaafin in future.
Talking about Alaafin Lamidi Olaiwola Adeyemi III, why is he so unique? Why is he so different? Basically, we believe that God has been preparing this young man for this position, even when we did not know about it. Why is he the only child that is being thrown here and there all over the place? If not for the fact that God was preparing him quietly.
Eventually, Alaafin Adeniro Adeyemi II sent young Prince Lamidi Adeyemi to Abeokuta, where he lived with the then Alaki of Egbaland, Oba Sir Oladipo Ademola, one of the few literate monarchs at that time. Prince Adeyemi was able to learn a lot in Abeokuta until the 1948 riot against tax without representation broke out. This protest by the Egba women, which was led by late Mrs. Fumilayo Ransom Kuti, forced the Alaki of Egbaland, Oba Oladipo Ademola, to abdicate his throne and proceed on exile to Osogbo, which became another opportunity for young Prince Lamidi Adeyemi to learn palace administrative techniques.
I was one of those who accompanied the Alaki to Osogbo on exile. Why Osogbo? I became very close to the old man, to Oladipo Ademola, the Alaki of Egbaland. He took me as his son. I was very close to him. I shortly studied the palace administration there while with him.
On the advice of the Alaki of Egbaland, Prince Adeyemi was taken to Lagos, where he lived with Sir Koforola Apayomi in Kefi, Ikoyi, Lagos. He attended Boys Modern School of Obalende and later Tinubu Methodist School to complete his primary school before he proceeded to the prestigious St. Gregory's College of Obalende, where his academic intelligence continued to stand out. It is pertinent to say that Obalende used to be a place where people from different ethnic groups settled in Lagos. Hence, living in this community requires sagacity and a good dose of native intelligence. For obvious reasons, Crown Prince Olaiwola felt at home in this challenging environment. He had his own share of youthful adventure in sports. He was a skillful footballer and was nicknamed Stanley Matthews after a popular British footballer in recognition of his dribbling mastery. He was also a long-distance runner as well as a dexterous boxer, fondly referred to by his boxing fans as the Slumber Boy.
Everybody knows me in Lagos Island and mainland as the dribbler at Stanley Matthews. In boxing, I was named Slumber Boy. Slumber Boy in the sense that I put them to sleep. I had over 60 bouts and I lost only 2. All these things are the trait of somebody who is destined to be great. Athlete today, boxer today, footballer today. In sport, sporting activity is no longer mere sport. It has become big business.
Prince Olaiwola Adeyemi left St. Gregory's College with a very good result and would have traveled to a London university for a degree course in law. Unfortunately, he lost his father, Alaafin Adeyemi II, unexpectedly, causing this ambition to be aborted. Prince Adeyemi didn't allow this setback to deter him. Rather, he encouraged himself and picked up a job at the Royal Exchange Assurance Company, Marina Lagos, where the series of trainings he had received over the years, coupled with his diligence and proficient writing skill, were brought to bear. To earn him his innate acumen and knack for business, he invested in automobile business and other forms of businesses, which ultimately paid off, causing him to climb the ladder of success, so much so he became a landlord in Lagos at a very young age.
Thank you so much for watching. You want to see more? Click below and subscribe because we drop video every day.